thing which is required, and it is the recommendation. So if you are somebody who is directly going after graduation for masters, they require a recommendation which will be educational recommendation, meaning your recommendation will be given by whom? By the college authority, by somebody who knows you, by somebody who has taught you, by somebody who holds some position. So that person will be eligible to give you the recommendation for your masters. Then if you are somebody who wants some experience and then further go for the masters, for that you would be obviously going into some legal services, or you will be going some advocacy with some law firm, with some advocates. In that case, you will be giving some professional recommendation. So the recommendation is not rigid that it is supposed to be from one side only. It can be both ways. It can be flexible, meaning it can be academics recommendation and it could recommendation. Then the next part is, if you see, there some universities they require your CV. Your CV should be the elaborate one. If you are working, so it should be elaborate, dealing upon what you have dealt in till now. And if it's just after your undergrad, then your CV will be dealing mostly with your internships, your papers, what your assignments, your projects, they'll be dealing with that. So these 4 steps for your masters that you will be needing if you want admission in any university in abroad. But my only suggestion to you is, before you want to go for any kind of course, you just do your research properly, just see where your interest lies and not for the sake of getting a degree. Because getting a master's from abroad is not that cheap, it is not that affordable, it is very expensive, it comes with a cost. So it's very important that you actually research about it and whether it will help you in the future. You want to come back to our country and then work, or you want to stay there, which is very difficult because you have a background of Indian law. And then you have to, you are doing a master's there and then you want to work there. You won't get a proper job, because I know I have friends there who have done their masters from abroad and they had to ultimately get back to India only. And now they are working in courts and all. They couldn't, I'll get into that, because if you want to practice in an international setup, your degree from your undergrad, it will be evaluated. For example, if you want to become a lawyer in USA, for USA the laws are, they follow obviously the different laws for different states. So there are very limited states where you can get a license after your graduation. For example, you have New York, you have Virginia, you have Alabama, you have California. So very limited states are there where you can get your license after your graduation. Because your degree, your undergrad degree will be evaluated by the American Bar Association. They will be dealing with your degree and seeing if it fits the criteria, if your transcripts, your undergrad transcript match the criteria, and if you are found eligible, then only you will be able to sit for the bar exam in their states, like New York Bar, California Bar. And similarly goes for UK also. If after your masters you want to get a license, so what you have to do, you have to give an exam, SQE. It's Solicitor Qualifying Examination. If you don't know, I'll just throw some light on it, that in USA, you can see they are called attorneys, right? In India, we are not called attorneys, we are called advocates. We are lawyers first, but once we get a license, we become advocates. So who practice in courts? Advocates practice in court. But if you see in UK, for UK the starting level will be solicitors. Who are solicitors? They are the ones who are actually dealing with the clients. They are the ones who are actually doing the paperwork, all the kind of laying down all the groundwork for whom? The barristers. Who are the barristers? Barristers are the ones who are actually, they are contesting the case in the court. So if you compare it with the Indian setup, you know there are some junior advocates and then there are senior advocates. You will see junior advocates, what are they doing? They are doing the groundwork. They are actually drafting the material, they are actually filing the content, they are actually taking dates, adjournments, everything. But what does a senior advocate do? What does a senior advocate do? He will go and appear in the court. He will actually contest the case. he will actually argue on behalf of the client. But with whose assistance? With the assistance of the junior advocates. So similarly goes with the UK Council also. The solicitor is the one who is actually doing the groundwork, and the barrister is the one who is actually contesting in courts. So barrister, if you are a foreign student, so you will be first becoming a solicitor. And after that, after some kind of experience, then you will be eligible to give the barrister level examination. So this is the entire setup for the international masters, or if you want to further take experience and get a license there. So this is about that. Now we'll actually delve in the important thing, which is examination. The examination that most of the students after their college they are getting it. Nowadays we have seen the trend that students with college itself, they are taking the coaching and they are appearing for the examination because nobody wants to waste the time. They are trying to utilize the time frame in the college itself, and then they are the moment they are done with the graduation, they feel that they are confident and they want to give the exam and they want to clear in the first attempt. Nobody wants to wait. अब ज़माना थोड़ा वैसा आ गया है कि अब जल्दी चाहिए, सबको सब कुछ एकदम मिल जाए ऐसा. But अब उसके लिए क्या करना होता है? उसके लिए what you have to do, preparation. See, I'll be very frank. In my college days, I was not so studious. Like not at all that studious in my undergrad time. After that, I actually realized that I want to study law. And I read. That's when for 1.5 years I locked myself. I was not in touch with anybody. I missed all the functions. I don't know what was happening. Marriage, parties, functions. I did not know anybody. For 1.5 years, I was all by myself. Nothing. I ghosted everybody. And after 1.5 years, then I actually came out and shared the news of my selection. So now I'll be dealing with, firstly I'll be dealing with UPSC, and I don't know, I'll be very glad if you can just share me how many of you are interested in UPSC and how many of you are interested in Judicial. If you don't mind, can somebody tell me or just write down in the chat box so that I can accordingly I can accommodate my time in both the topics. Can somebody tell?
You can also ask for hand raise.
Hand raise, yeah. You can just raise your hand for UPSC and for Judiciary. So I'll briefly discuss the UPSC part because I know Judiciary is more interesting and I will be dealing more with Judiciary because I know more about it. So for UPSC examination, the most coveted examination, the most sought after examination of the country, and frankly one of the examination I always did it. I never imagined I could actually see myself preparing for that examination, because when I was preparing for my examination, Judicial examination, I used to sit with all the students. So all of us were in the library. So some people were doing the UPSC, some people were preparing for SSC, some people were preparing for Judicial examination. So all people from all walks of life they are preparing. So I know the level of preparation which goes into all these examinations. So we'll first pick up UPSC. So for UPSC, the syllabus is no syllabus basically. Whatever you have been studying since class 6 till class 12, if you are an humanities student till class 12, and everything after that. So there are 3 rounds, commonly known 3 rounds: the preliminary round, there is mains, and then the personality round, which is the interview. So we'll start with prelims. Prelims is divided into 2 sets, 2 rounds. You just know on 25th of May, the prelim examination was conducted by UPSC. So there are 2 rounds in it, which is first round, which is called the GS paper, and the second round, it is called the qualifying round, the CSAT, the commonly known as CSAT. So for first GS round, it comprises of 200 marks. Paper 2 also comprises of 200 marks. Paper 1 marker each with the negative marking of 0.66. And on the other hand, for CSAT, there will be 80 questions, 2.5 each, the marking, and for negative marking it will be 0.83 reduction. Now, what will be the criteria of the syllabus which is divided into both these sets? Part 2, the CSET part is a qualifying round, meaning that you need 33% in that. If you take an average out of it, 66 score. You need to score 66 in that CSET. Only then you will be eligible to judge on your first round. So that's the criteria. अगर आपने CSAT में qualify किया है, तभी आप कट ऑफ में जाओगे अगर आपने फर्स्ट राउंड में क्वालिफाई किया है. Because a lot of times you see लोग GS में क्वालिफाई कर लेते हैं, बस CSET रह जाता है, उनका CSET में क्वालिफाइंग मार्क्स नहीं आते. So it was started back in 2017-18 जब वो CSET वाला स्टार्ट हुआ था. I exactly don't remember the year. So CSET, what comprises of CSET? CSET will have English, it will have logical reasoning, it will have quantitative aptitude, and इसमें जो major chunk रहेगा, it will be focusing on maths, the aptitude. उसके अलावा logical reasoning and English. So there are a lot of students who are not good at maths. Even I am not good at maths. So for people like us, what we do is, if we have to qualify the second round, what we do? We will be focusing on logical reasoning and we will be focusing on maths. Why? And we will be making sure that we actually attempt 30 questions, because we just need to qualify the paper. So we make sure the accuracy for those 30 questions is so apt that we don't need to jump into the math section where we are weak. And if we go on attempting those questions, we might just fall for the trap of the negative marking. So it's better we do the calculation and we just do that part which is appropriate for the qualifying round. So that comprises of the CSAT. But what happens is, the paper which you will be appearing first will be GS paper, the main paper. So 10 to 12 will be your GS paper, and then second half will be your CSAT paper, which is the qualifying round. And now GS paper will be comprising of 100 questions. Now 100 questions from what subject syllabus? The major syllabus as per laid down by the UPSC notification, it will comprise of history, world history, Indian history, medieval history, modern history. Then it will have geography, world geography, Indian geography, the maths and all. Then it will have science and technology. It will have ecology, the environment part, the biodiversity part. It will have current affairs. Maximum students, you will be watching all those reels which show up in your social media, that people are scared of current affairs. Because current affairs is one aspect which is dynamic, it keeps on changing. So everybody is scared of current affairs. But UPSC has them, they have made it very clear that the current affairs will be from 1 year. Yes, for that 1 year preparation you need to know the depth. So that's why the previous the connectivity is required. So that's how they are connected. But the current affairs will be for 1 year. And then you have syllabus related to economics. Yes, they have economics. So this is the major chunk which will be asked for your prelims round for the GS paper. Now, if you qualify the exam, qualifying is not that easy, because if you see in UPSC everything is, if you clear 3, so maybe for mains you are confident, because clearing prelims is itself a task. You will listen to a lot of stories, a lot of podcasts where you will find that a lot of the bureaucrats, the officers, they qualified their future, but for 3-year rule now students are like, what will we do? Can we go for our masters? Yes, you can go for your masters. Because I discussed earlier also, there is this notification by Bar Council of India, and it was actually required for the higher education purposes. But since it will be used for this also now, that if you are doing your masters, then it won't be a break in your continuity of your years. Meaning if you need 3 years of service, and if you are doing your masters, so that masters will not suspend your service. It will be counted in your 3 years. So that's what was required in the higher judicial services. Because in higher, you need to give 7 years of continuous years of practice, then only you are eligible to give the higher judicial examination. But one such case which came up before the court, it was there that the person was continuously practicing, but for 1 year he was doing his master's. So he contested that my license was not suspended, so it should be counted. So the court came up in the Bar Council, the court, Delhi High Court in Kabir Amjad versus Delhi High Court case, they relied on the notification by the Bar Council of India, where they said that if you are doing your master, your service is not broken. Your period of years, they are not broken. It is still accounted for and they are being counted. So if you feel that your 3 years would go with so much time, trust me, 3 years is nothing. When you start preparing, it's not like you will clear in first attempt. There are people who clear in 2 attempts, 3 attempts, it takes a lot of time. So it depends how much time you are taking. Is there any question? Am I audible now? Am I clear enough? Can somebody please respond and tell me, am I clear enough, or I just need to go further?
Ma'am, please repeat. She's asking to repeat something so that she can tell you your audible.
Okay, can you hear me? Am I audible enough?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So can you just please tell me from where do I have to start again so that I am on the track again? Till where you actually understood and from where I was not clear enough.
About the judgment.
Okay. So that's what I was saying. If the 3 years rule has been implemented now, so you guys must be in your final year or you'll be going in your final year, however it is. So I would suggest the moment you graduate, get yourself enrolled in any state bar. Delhi State Bar, you go to Hilgaon, you get yourself registered. The moment you get your provisional degree, your provisional mark sheet, whatever you get, go there, get registered. And once you are registered, then go to any district bar. Any district bar, there are 7, 8, 9 courts in Delhi. Go there, get yourself registered. It's outside Delhi. You have your district in Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, wherever you are, wherever you find comfortable. Get yourself registered. Get a card for yourself. Your counting will begin from the day you are enrolled in the state bar. Meaning, if you are from Delhi, from the date you are enrolled in state bar, the Delhi Bar Association. If you are in Maharashtra, from Maharashtra Bar Association, the counting will start from that. It will not be counted from the day where you file your first appearance in court. It will not be from the day where you file any wakalatnama. No, it will be counted from the day you are enrolled in the bar. Okay, so my only request to all of you, the moment you graduate, moment you get your documents, get yourself registered. Okay, so now for next 3 years, what will you do? Because not everybody is that patient that they can just study for 3 years. I would suggest you can give your exam after 3 years, but within these 3 years, what you can do? There are a lot of examinations which come and you can give as a fresher. There is a APO exam, there is APP exam in different states. Then there is legal officer exams happening. Then if you give your CLAT scores are eligible for a lot of things, for a lot of PSUs. Then your CLAT scores eligible for JAG also, Judges Advocate General exam. For that, the eligibility is till 27 years of age. So you can give all those exams meanwhile because law will remain the same. Your essence of examination for any kind of law-related examination, your syllabus would be more or less same. So I would suggest keep giving the examination if you are enrolled, if you are marking your appearances through some advocate, through your personal appearance, however you are managing. So I would suggest keep giving the examination if you are interested in judiciary. Because if you are not in touch with the examination for these 3 years, then the moment you are eligible for judiciary examination, you might not be able to well, because why, you are not in touch with the examination pattern and you are away from the study life, the student life. Because the more we are engrossed in the student life, the more we are able to give any kind of examination. So I would suggest give the examination. And if you want to go for your master, you don't have to hesitate that my practice will be suspended or my practice will not be counted for. You can go. You can get yourself enrolled in any kind of regular course also, regular master course, and your period of your practice is not suspended. I am telling you that. You can find a resolution, Bar Council resolution number 160 by 2009, where it is clearly stated by them that if you are doing a regular course, your practice is not broken. It is still accounted for. Okay. So now I have actually told you these things that you can do. You can appear for UGC NET also. You can actually go for teaching also, where meanwhile you can side by side you can do your studies also. You can do your preparation also. You can apply for SFIU examination, Serious Fraud Investigation Office. There are freshers who can apply for that. Then there are CBI roles. Then SEBI roles, SEBI legal officer, RBI legal officer. Then you have Enforcement Directorate legal officer, CBI legal. There are multiple options which are available. And the one more interesting thing which is started now is a legal consulting job, wherein they might require some kind of experience and they might not require some kind of experience, and a fresher can apply also. So what you need to do, you need to stay vigilant, because a lot of ministries post those jobs. You can apply those jobs, the vacancy is not much, it is not a regular job, it is not a government job, it is a consulting job, but you are paid well in that job, and meanwhile your practice is still counted, because you need to be an advocate to appear for those interviews. So he told me, so I said, कहाँ से करूँगी, study leave नहीं मिलेगा, study leave नहीं मिलता इतना easily. So it's like अरे कुरुक्षेत्र से कर लो. पहले के टाइम पे कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी वाज वेरी फेमस, सो कुरुक्षेत्र से लोग मतलब डिग्रीज लेते थे. सो आई समहाउ enrolled myself into कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी वाला LLM. It was maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and I paid the fees also. But after that, somehow my conscience did not allow that this is not what I want to do, that I don't want a degree just for the sake of it. So I withdrew my admission. I was like, no, I don't want it. When I want to do my master's, I will do it properly. Otherwise, I don't want to do it for the sake of it. So that's why it is your call what you want to do. But always remember, when you are preparing for any kind of examination, they should always have a backup. Backup option is always necessary. Because at times, see, there is 90% hard work, 10% luck also. I believe in that also. Because maybe I know a lot of my colleagues or my acquaintances or anybody who studied together, they and I gave the examination together. But maybe you call it luck or you call it anything, they couldn't qualify, I did. And I used to think they were better than me. I always felt that they were better than me and that they couldn't qualify. So it depends. So that's why I say 90% hard work, maybe 99% hard work, but 1% luck. Maybe on that day when you give the examination, it can come to that. So I'll be dealing with some of my interview experiences also for you to know. For example, I gave 2 interviews. I gave Madhya Pradesh interview also, I gave UP interview also. So both the exams were given together in a time gap of one maybe. So for Madhya Pradesh interview round, I missed by 2 marks. So it was very heartening and all. So for UP, for MP, the interview was taken by High Court judges. So Honorable Chief Justice was sitting and one more senior judge. They took the interview, and I made very silly questions. They asked maybe, so they must have conducted it. And I gave very silly answer to a very silly question. So my question somehow was that if you are an officer and you have friends with you, and they are asking you to drink with them, what will you do? You are sitting in a pub, you are sitting in a bar, and your friends are asking you, and they are your close friends. They are your very, very close friends that you cannot say no to them. How will you deal with the situation? So maybe my answer was not that good. Later I actually realized that it was not that good answer like an officer, because what they checked in your interview is OLQ. The common term OLQ is officer like quality. They don't check your law. They don't see that whether you know law or not. They check you on your officer like quality, whether you are, how you are holding yourself, how you are dealing in the situation. So they give you a lot of practical questions, and then you will have to answer those questions. And then there was UP Judicial interview. There was a proper panel interview, meaning 4 or 5 people will be sitting there. There they won't be knowing your name. You are given a chip, like UPSC, you will be given a chip with a number on it. So you will be called according to the number. So for example, I'll share back in 2018-19. So my number was 511. So I was called out, I was sitting outside the interview room. So my number was called out, the usher escorted me to the room. So the room opened and there was this 4 or 5 senior members are sitting, one High Court judge, one Commission chairman, UPS, Uttar Pradesh Public Service Commission chairman, then psychologist, one senior professor of Allahabad University. All these people were sitting. And when I went, obviously everybody will get intimidated, everybody will get scared. Same happened with me, but they made sure that I was comfortable enough. So I just handed my token to them. And how my interview started, they started with that chit only. Like, what is the chit number? I said 511. And they started with that. Okay, let's talk about 511. What do you know about 511? Where will you find 511? So obviously they were asking about attempt under IPC 511. So that's how they started my interview, and from therein they took me to intimidation, criminal intimidation, breach of trust. This all started. Then Honorable High Court Judge took me to murder and culpability, to difference between culpability and liability. So all these things, it's always organic.
Ma'am, there's a question. Is selection for the JAG branch done through CLAT PG score or a separate process?
Okay, so for application filling form, you need to have your CLAT scores. Your selection is not done on that, it is taken into consideration. But after that, you have your exam, and then for JAG there are 2-3 rounds on it. One is your SSB round also, then you have medical round also. Your CLAT scores are eligibility criteria. It is not a selection criteria. So you can give JAG. JAG is also a good examination, but for JAG I don't know like in depth about it, but I know that it is a short service commission, meaning it is not till your retirement, till 60. So please read about it. I will check. It is not till retirement, it is not till 60 years of age. It is short service commission. It is for a minimum duration. It is not permanent. So please read about that. So yes, where was I? I was on my interview thing. So yes, so interview is always organic. It is never, they are not prepared with questions. They don't have a set of questions where they will start asking you. Like in UP, they particularly said, don't tell your name, don't tell where are you from, don't tell your college, nothing. You don't want to know anything. So they just started with that random question of 511. But on the other hand, when I gave the MP interview, the judges, the honorable judges, they had my application form. So they started my interview from there. From where they asked that you have done your schooling, you are born in Delhi, you are done your schooling from Delhi, everything from Delhi. Then how will you survive in a small district in Madhya Pradesh? So that's how they started my interview for Madhya Pradesh. So it depends. For interview, whatever you study, it might not be sufficient, because interview can go in any direction where you want to take it. So always tell a subject. If they ask any subject in your interview, that which is your favorite subject, always tell a subject that you are 100% sure about. Because at times you tell evidence and you think evidence what you studied in college was easy. But when it comes to the court perspective, evidence is way beyond. It is very vast. So it's always necessary, whenever you pick a subject as your favorite subject, you should be 100% well versed with it. That's my opinion. That's how I've done it. Then for interview, I have specifically told you there is no way to learn it. There are mock interviews which happen. Please take it. Do go for it. For my MP mock interview, I took the help. But for my UP mock interview, since I had the experience of MP interview, so I did not go for any mock interviews.
There's a question by Ashutosh. He's asking that I am currently pursuing DBLLB in corporate law. I am a bit confused for my masters. Please suggest me whether LLM will be better or MBA because my interests in both are different.
Okay, so Ashutosh, see, I will give you a very real picture. If you want to go for a corporate sector, you should see yourself earning in 6 figures and you want to be a big shot person. So obviously, a better option would be MBA. But on the other hand, if you really want to go for the competitive examination and all, so the real picture comes with LLM. You might not use your LLM, but if you are joining a service, your LLM will give you increments. The increments in law, judiciary, that's what I know, is given on LLM. So you get 3 increments during your service. And if you are a PhD holder, you get 5 increments. It depends on your interest also, but if you want to work in a corporate, MBA is any day a better option. So, does anybody have any questions regarding competition exam judiciary? Please feel free to ask me, so that I can take my talk in that direction and we are not just haywiring and just waywarding. Please don't be hesitant, feel free to ask. It's not a formal session, just take it a very informal session and ask any doubts. Because on a personal scale I will discuss, I get 10 doubts daily from my students. I am counseling 10 students daily, on a daily basis. That's what I do. Some of my students, they gave the UPSC examination recently. They were not happy with their performance. So I was counseling them at 9 p.m. at night. Can we proceed or is there any question? Okay. So, yeah, what I was saying is for interview, I told you that it is all organic. It starts with where you are taking, and always make sure you are taking them where you want to take them, and not where they want to take you. So please understand. अगर आपको कुछ चाहते हो कि आपको इस लॉ के डायरेक्शन में लेके जाएं, तो always make sure कि तुम्हारे आंसर ऐसे मोल्ड हुए कि वो आपको उसी सब्जेक्ट में some human psychology thing they take you in that direction. Yes, whenever you clear the main stage, please take some mock interviews. Why? Not for your knowledge, but how you want to present yourself, because it matters. 3 marks होते हैं कि how you enter your OLQ is counted in that. Okay, so interview round we have discussed. For mains also, I am telling you whatever state you are giving, whatever state. Check your previous year question. Even if you are a final year student, go to any state website and check the mains question and see if there are theoretical questions. Are you able to attend those questions? Are you able, do you know the answer? Do you know the logic? Do you know the concept behind that? Just go through it. And if you think that there is still, I'm not too sure about the answer, despite I have done it in college, but I don't know, then you might just take if you feel, you can take coaching if you feel, because nowadays coachings are also very expensive. They are not that affordable. So it depends on your call. If you you want to proceed with coaching or not. Because ultimately, coaching or no coaching, you have to study. You will have to do everything. With this, I am done with my session. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to answer. I now take this opportunity to sincerely thank Ms. Utkarsha Bartwal ma'am for her insightful and inspiring lecture on how to crack Judicial Services Examination, UPSC and LLM admissions. Your practical strategies with which you told about how to clear LLM exams and next dealing with UPSC exams and finally coming to judiciary exams really motivated our students to perform better in their examinations in future. Also, you dealt with how to the issue related to 3-year judgment given by the Supreme Court related to Judicial Services Examination. Also helped our students to take better career advice.